During the bustling holiday season, a woman stormed into my restaurant, loudly proclaiming she was a close friend of the owner and demanded a VIP table reserved for high-profile guests. The twist? I'm the owner, and I had no clue who she was. Instead of calling her out, I decided to play along and see where this would lead. During the evening, one of her companions mocked me, asking if I felt my life was worthless because I was just a waiter. That's when I decided to teach them a lesson they wouldn't forget. This happened around Christmas and New Year's, a peak time for my family's restaurant. My grandparents, Italian immigrants, opened the place in Canada in the 1970s. After their passing, my parents took over, expanding it over the years. I started working here as a teenager, and when my parents retired to Florida, they sold the business to me, keeping a small share for extra income. I took out a loan to modernize the restaurant, new design, updated branding, and heavy marketing through local and national media. I invited food critics, bloggers, and influencers to spread the word. At first, I feared I'd made a terrible mistake, risking a 3-generation legacy. But slowly, things turned around. A local YouTuber featured us in a video, and soon we were swamped, even on slow days like Mondays. We became a hotspot for events, with celebrities occasionally stopping by. I even brought in high-profile chefs to cook for guests, which cost a fortune but packed the place. By summer, reservations for December were booked solid. When things get hectic, I don't hide in the office. I'm out front, greeting guests, clearing tables, or even cleaning floors. On big nights, I suit up and take charge. One evening, a group of 6 women walked in, 5 in their early 20s, led by a woman who seemed slightly older, maybe a big sister or sorority leader. She was hyping up the group, boasting about the restaurant's amazing food and how they might spot a celebrity. Approaching me at the host stand, she demanded a table for 6. I asked for the reservation name, and she casually said she didn't have one, but insisted it was fine because the owner's a good friend who always keeps tables open for special guests. This is true for some upscale places, and I do it too, but I'd never met this woman. She was clearly trying to scam her way in, but she picked the wrong person to try it on. I politely explained we couldn't seat anyone without a reservation, as we were fully booked. I didn't want to humiliate her in front of her group by saying, "I'm the owner and I don't know you." Instead, she doubled down, telling one of her friends to snap a photo of me, threatening to have me fired or demoted to cleaning bathrooms by the end of the week. Her group chimed in, mocking me with comments like, "Say goodbye to your low-wage job." I wasn't sure if they believed her or were just playing along. She kept pushing, saying, "Give us a table or I'll make your life hell. This isn't worth your job." She belittled me, acting superior and implying I was a nobody who should know her status. It had been a rough day, and I had 3 choices. Call her out as the owner, give in and seat them, or teach her a lesson. I chose the third option. With a smile, I said, "Of course, ma'am, right this way." I led them to one of our VIP tables, reserved for celebrities, and apologized for the mix-up, saying I'd comped their first 3 rounds of drinks. I seated them, asked for a credit card and ID to keep on file, standard for VIP tables, and took their orders personally. I warned them the kitchen was slammed, so food might take a while. They didn't care, focused on the free drinks and ordered 3 rounds before any food arrived. They grew impatient and rude, demanding I check on their order while requesting more drinks. By the time appetizers arrived, they were tipsy, having downed cocktails on empty stomachs. They kept ordering, unaware that the VIP table came with a special menu, no prices listed, featuring premium items like black caviar, white truffle dishes, and imported oysters. Each drink after the first 3 was exorbitantly priced. At one point, I questioned if I was going too far. These women might not know better. But then one of them asked if I felt my life was empty because I was just a server. Another staff member overheard them plotting to mess with me, assuming I was an easy target. They made snide remarks like, "He's cute, but I'd never date a waiter. Such a pushover." That sealed it. I kept going. By the end of the night, each woman's tab was $500 to $600. I presented the leader with a bill for $4,232.23, including tax and tip. Her face went from giddy to horrified. She called me over, asking if it was a mistake. I reviewed the bill and said I'd get the correct one, which only made her briefly relieved. When I returned with the same total, she lost it, insisting something was wrong. They scrutinized every line, confused by the comped drinks, but unable to dispute the rest. The leader, now pale, excused herself to the restroom. I worried she'd try to ditch, but I subtly reminded her we had her ID and card. When she returned, her makeup was fresh, but it was clear she'd been crying. She complained about the food and drinks, demanding I have the bill. She even brought up her friendship with the owner again, showing me texts from a contact labeled with my restaurant's name and owner. It was obvious she'd edited a friend's contact in the bathroom to fake the conversation. I clicked the contact info and said, That's not the owner's number. She claimed he had multiple phones for business. I offered to call him and said if he approved a 50% discount, I'd do it. She started yelling, drawing attention from other guests. I'd had enough. In a firm tone, I said, "Stop it. You don't know the owner. You've never been here before. If you keep this up, I'll call the police." She tried to backpedal, but I laid it out. "My grandparents started this place. My family has run it for decades. I'm the sole owner and I've never met you. I gave you a VIP table, which I didn't charge for, and 3 free drink rounds. Pay your bill or I'll call the cops with your ID." Her group was speechless, and she signed the bill in tears. Her friends scraped together a few $100s in cash, promising to pay her back later. 2 days later, an angry man, likely her father, showed up with her, demanding to speak to me. I was busy, so he waited 30 minutes. In my office, I showed them security footage with clear audio from the VIP area, kept for safety reasons due to past incidents. The footage captured their behavior, orders, and insults. He left, yelling at her, not me. I haven't seen them since, but I framed the original bill, minus $120 oysters, on my desk. The financial hit wasn't bad. The VIP table was empty anyway, and their massive bill covered the comped drinks. The real shock was their entitlement, especially the comment about my life being meaningless as a server. It's infuriating how some people look down on honest work like waiting tables or cleaning. There's no shame in any job, and their worldview was just toxic. The audio recording might seem invasive, but it's only in the VIP area for security, and I'm glad it backed me up. The father's reaction was satisfying, though I wonder how she explained it to him. So, was I wrong for handling it this way? How would you deal with customers like this in your restaurant? I don't believe I was wrong here. The woman lied about knowing me to manipulate her way into a VIP table, then escalated by threatening my job and belittling me. Her group's insults, especially mocking my work as meaningless, showed their entitlement. I gave them a chance to enjoy a premium experience, but didn't hide the costs of their orders, except for the unlisted VIP menu prices, standard for such tables. They could have asked about prices, but didn't. Instead, they kept ordering and insulting me, assuming they could bully their way through. I stayed professional, gave them what they demanded, and let their choices rack up the bill. Calling her out at the end was necessary to stop her tantrum and protect my business. The security footage proved their behavior, and I didn't lose money since the table was reserved anyway. If I were in your shoes, I'd likely take a similar approach, but with slight tweaks. I'd start by calmly explaining the reservation policy to avoid confrontation. If they pushed the "I know the owner" card, I'd politely ask for details to call their bluff without revealing I'm the owner. If they persisted, I'd seat them at a regular table, not VIP, to avoid rewarding bad behavior, ensuring they knew prices up front. If they insulted staff, I'd warn them once about respectful conduct. If it continued, I'd ask them to leave, citing policy, and involve authorities if needed. I'd avoid letting them run up a huge bill to prevent disputes, but I'd document everything with cameras for evidence. This balances fairness, professionalism, and protecting the business without escalating to a public showdown. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.